Hello, you guys. Happy Saturday. I just wanted to invite you guys on my relaxing weekend getaway. Nothing big, something small, just getting away for the day. My son is with his dad, and I am going to bask in the beautiful Savannah, Georgia. I am bringing you guys along. So I hope that you guys enjoy this vlog. It's not going to be anything spectacular, but just a little recap of my mini vacation. We are on the road, or I am on the road. Well, me and you are on the road, because y'all on the camera. But I will see you guys or let you know when I get there. Stay tuned. All right, we have made it. Oh, hold on, let me focus my camera. We have made it out of Florida. We are on our way. Georgia, we are on you. We coming. I'm on the way. I'm on the way. Stay tuned. Okay, y'all. Hey. Excuse my hair and all that. Ooh, wait a minute now. This semi-truck trying to come up on me. Let me, hold on, y'all. I gotta get away from this little semi-truck. And he ain't got no truck on him. It's just the front of it. Child, he almost, Let me get from over here. And the one in front of me swerving. Let me, politely get on over. Lord, get them where they're going safely. Okay. And it's crazy because, wait. Anyways, so, as you guys know, I am on my way to Savannah, Georgia to just rest, okay? Have a good time. Y'all, I'm so excited about eating some food. Like, there's this place, I can't remember the name of it, but there's this place on River Street that I always go every time what I was saying was, there is this place in Savannah that I always go to. It's on River Street. And then there's this, what is it? It's like a little candy shop further down that I go to. I'm ready to get my pecans. I'm ready to eat me some Rockefeller oysters. Like, I'm just, the bird is ready. Okay. So, I just wanted to give you guys just something that God just gave me, right? Because this morning I was like, God, it's going to be me and you for 2 hours in this car. But then I thought about it, I'm like, it's me and you all day, but it's gonna be me and you intentionally in this car for 2 hours because it takes 2 hours to get from Florida to Savannah, Georgia, where I'm coming from. So I was, just sitting here praying and talking, and before I even, but before I decided to take this trip, I prayed about it and I asked God, well, is this something that you would allow me to do, right? Like, is this something that you will allow me to do? And I had been praying about it because I was like, God, I want to take a trip. It doesn't have to be anything big or spectacular. Something where I can just go and just get peace of mind, just reset from the busyness of the weeks that I've been having. Because, like I told you guys, it's been me hitting the ground running since I left my job. Like, I had 1 week to rest, and I didn't rest in that because the enemy was all up and through there trying to just get me to focus on things, and it took away my focus on resting because I was focusing on the wrong things. So I said, well, Lord, can you give me another shot at finding some rest, some peace, just to have a day of peace. And so I had prayed, but I asked him, if I could take this trip. And so I had been praying about it, and so he confirmed, like, the date. Like, I kept saying 27. And also, I was just like, I was already like, okay, I'm going to upload my blog. So I hope you guys watched the blog, but if you didn't, that's okay. But that's just a life update for me. And this one will be coming out in February. But what I basically wanted to tell you guys is that God is love. Like, God is love. You find peace and rest in Him, but He allows us to bask in His presence and experience His unconditional love. There's this song that I have been listening to non-stop, like within the last 24 hours. It's by Sneed Harslet or Hazlet. Let me see if I can find it on my phone. Here it goes. Sneed Harnett. But yeah, Sneed Harnett. I hope I'm saying her name right. If I'm not, y'all can Google it. But there's a song she has called Unconditional, and I love it. But lately, I have been playing it over and over and over because, and like I told you guys, we gotta stop putting God in a box when it comes to how he shows up for us. You can't expect him or keep expecting him to show up the same way he's showed up before, because God is a God of creation. He's a God of creating different instances and creating different things. He shows up in everything, and we have to be able to see him in everything because he's the creator of everything. So of course he can show up there, right? So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about that song because I was just like, I've been playing this song for a little minute now, Unconditional. And when I think about it, and of course, this isn't a gospel song, but it spoke to me, like it spoke to my heart, because I'm just like, dang, it reminds me of God's love. God is love, and his love is unconditional. He loves us regardless of what we've done. He loves us regardless of where we came from, what our backgrounds is, what our parents done, what our family's doing, what our friend circles look like, regardless of what our hearts look like, because he is a molder. He can mold and push that deceit or the hardness out of our hearts to make us have a heart for him, as long as we allow him to. And sometimes even when we don't allow it, he still pushes through and he gets us where we're supposed to be. Okay, now if we continue to walk in darkness, that's our choosing, but it's never too late to turn back. It's never too late to give him the full authority to reorder your steps, right? So I been listening to this song and just listening to the words, and I'm like, wow, like this is unconditional. This is unconditional. Like, and it starts talking about, like, if we can make it, make it all possible. Y'all forget my voice. But I'm like, God is the God of impossible. He is a God that moves the unmovable. He is the God of miraculous. He is the God of everything. The things that you think that he can't move in or he can't show up in, he's there. He's moving it. God is love. Love is God. Like, and it's so crazy because just when I got inside of Georgia after I hit the state line, ooh, I hate this road. It's been making my ears pop. So yeah, sorry you guys. I'm on this. I hate being on this road. It's so loud, and I've been driving on it for so long. Like right now it's a little bit quieter, but my ears, like like my ears are like annoyed. But I'm just like, whatever. We're going to Georgia, baby. Okay. But so yeah, it's just like the other day, 2 days actually in a row, I had been going to get my coffees, and I had been seeing, I hope you guys can hear me through this road, but I had been seeing on my little coffee cup, like they give you like little stickers to put over the mouthpiece so that the heat stays inside the cup. So a couple of days ago, like twice, I got a Purple Heart, right? I don't know what that was. I just ran over. Let me check my tire pressure, because your girl can't be down. I'm gonna have to call one of y'all to come get me from Georgia. But okay, my tire pressure is good. I don't know what I ran over. But anyways, that probably was just the enemy trying to distract me from the message. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Okay. But yeah, so the last 2 days, or the last couple of days last week when I went to go get my coffees, I kept seeing I got 2 Purple Hearts on the lid. I was like, oh, okay, And as soon as I got into Georgia, I seen this sign, and I have to like Google it or take a picture of it. I don't know if it's gonna be like on the way back out, but it said Purple Heart something, like Purple Heart something. And so I started laughing because I'm just like, God, like I was just sitting here because I'm just like, Lord, did you really tell me I could go to Georgia? Like, is this something that I'm doing or is this you? And so, as I'm still driving here, okay, but when I seen that, I was just like, okay, God, like but yeah, so I was just, I laughed because I thought, I immediately thought about the coffee cups where I had the two purple hearts. And I was just like, oh man, like, God, that was you confirming, like, yeah, you can go to Georgia or whatever. And I immediately, noticed it when I got in the state line of Georgia or whatever. So I just was like, God, you are so good. And then, like I said, I kept just, I don't know, today I just been basking in love. Like, I don't know, the word love just kept coming to my mind. I'm just like, wow. And then I remember I said, God, you are, like, your love is unconditional. Like, it's not based off what we do. It's not based off who we are. Your love is unconditional. There's no conditions with the love you give us. And as long as we continue to stay in your presence, keep your commandments, do what it is that we do, and even when we step outside of it, your love is still the same. Like, his love is still the same, regardless of if we're walking in alignment or not. His love for us doesn't change. And when I saw the purple hearts and I seen the sign that said the purple hearts, I'm gonna have to Google it, you guys. I can't do it right now when I'm recording. And you guys may see the thing like flickering because I do have a filter over my face. Okay, just to smooth my skin because your girl eczema is eczema-ing. Okay, and I hate it, but it's all good. I love my skin. I love myself. Okay. But, I was like, I'm not putting on no makeup today. I'm going to have a good time. I ain't doing none of that, okay? But, yeah, like, at the end of the day, I'm just like, it's so crazy, like, how God will consistently show you things that you may not even know you needed. Like I said, I had prayed about coming to Savannah, and God had already spoke to me, like, yeah, you can go. And like I said, he kept highlighting the number 27. So I was like, okay, I'll go on to 27. But I was just like, wow, like, it just feels so good to know that the things and the steps that I'm taking are really ordered by God. Something so simple as allowing me to go 2 hours away. I'm just like, I'm so founded on God that I don't even want to go 2 hours away if I'm not supposed to. Like, I want to be so founded and firm on God's foundation that when he says I can go, I go. And when he tells me, and like I told him when I prayed about it, I said, Lord, if you tell me no and I have to wait and go at a later date, then I'll do that. I'll find something to do in Florida. Like, I don't have to come here. This is something that I want to do. It's not a need. It's a want. Because I've been so busy and I haven't really taken the time to really just have entertainment or have fun, I would really like to do this. But if it's not in your will for me, and if you tell me no, or if you tell me go later, I gotta be okay with it. I gotta be okay with it. But it's just like, it's so humbling, you guys. Like, and like I was saying, the message is that God is love. And as I was riding, I've been taking pictures, like, just along the way to show you guys my progress of how far I've gotten and stuff I've seen that just stands out. So I saw this gas station, you guys may be familiar with it, but it's called Love. And so as I was getting ready to press play to record this message about God is love, I seen the love sign. So I was just like, okay, Lord, this is something that you want me to speak on. This is something that you want me to share because somebody needs to hear it. Or it just may be an encouragement to somebody. It may not always be necessarily somebody needs to hear it, but maybe it is. Maybe it's just a reminder for someone. It was a reminder for me because I'm just like, God, you really are love. I really can have happiness within your love. I really can have, like, I can really be who you've called me to be in this life because of your love. And like I said, with my eczema in my face, I hate it. But now I have a love for myself because I see God, or not I see God, I see myself the way God sees me. He doesn't qualify me by my eczema. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't qualify me whether my makeup is done or not, whether my eyebrows are arched, or whether my clothes are the best. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, your girl, listen, when I get out of this car, I got my little puffer vest, y'all, because it's kind of, I checked the weather before I left the house. It's sunny in Florida, and even right now where I'm at, it's really sunny. But in Savannah, it's saying that it's cloudy, and it's like 65 degrees. So your girl got on her long sleeve. Like I said, it's basic. I got on my little sweatpants, but I got my puffer vest. Look, your girl finna be out here puffering with the vest, okay? I'm gonna take a picture. But I'm just like, I don't have to be glitz and glam to enjoy the things that God has for me. As long as I show up and I show up correctly. Now, obviously, if this was something different or something where it's just like, okay, you need to put yourself like more together, or like you need to be together, because baby, when it's time to get together, I get together, okay? But I was like, no, this is a time for relaxing. This is entertainment. Your girl finna be comfortable, and then I'm like, I'm finna be in this car for 2 hours. I'm not wearing no jeans. I'm not wearing something I'm gonna be irritated, and I got my shoes is off because I was like, my feet need to be comfortable because when I get out, I'm walking. But I got on tennis shoes, and I got on my pink jogger pants, sweatpants, and I got on a white shirt, and I got a black puffer vest. Like I said before, once I finish this, and I will be taking pictures throughout there. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get my whole outfit, but because obviously it's just me. But we'll see, okay? But yeah, so I said everything to say that remember that God is love. Like, God is love. And I remember there's a Bible verse that says God is love. And if you have not experienced God, then you have not experienced love. Because God is love. And when I saw that, it made me think about like relationships. It makes me think about how many times I've been in a relationship and I've said like, oh, I love this person, or this person loves me. But the whole time we wasn't loving each other because we didn't even know what love meant. We didn't even realize that God is love. Our hearts weren't wholeheartedly founded on God. So we didn't properly love each other, the way that we should have. And that explains why a bunch of things came up, in those relationships, because God was not our foundation for love. God was not our source, of love. And so it just made me think about what the Bible says about it. Like, God is love. He is love. And I have this and that verse is 1 John 4:8 and 1 John 4:16, that God is love. And we have to remember that He is love. We are believers that He is love. And it's crazy because let me see if I can take it down really fast. I have this in my car. Love, I went and got my car washed yesterday, and I've always seen this company, but I've never been there. But I don't know, yesterday I felt like, okay, I'm just gonna go here. But now I know why, because this is a part of today's message. But and on the back of it, it says love is in the air. And once I seen it yesterday, let me try to put it back up here safely, okay? But once I seen it yesterday, it's a late on my phone. But once I seen it yesterday, when I saw love, I immediately heard like, I am love. Like, God is love. So yeah, like I said, God will continue to speak to you in anything and everything. Like I said, I got this yesterday. And I kept listening to that song Unconditional yesterday. So I'm like, okay, Lord. And like today, like I said, I was reminded about the Purple Hearts. And then when I got into Georgia, I seen the purple. It said the Purple City or something. I'm going to have to Google it and add it in here, you guys, so you guys will know what I'm talking about. Somebody may know what I'm talking about. But I had never, I think I've seen that before, but it stuck out to me because, like I said, I had the coffee cups that had the two Purple Heart stickers on it each day, twice in a row. So I was just like, okay. And then when I seen it today, I'm like, oh, God, okay. But I just wanted to come on and just let somebody know that God is love. If you're searching for happiness, if you're searching for love, if you're searching for joy, search the kingdom of God, because that is where you're going to find it. Search God, because He is all of those things. Your happiness. But I don't know, I think my thing may have cut off on the end where I said, He is all of those things. Seek Him and you will get those things. It will be added unto you. You will have peace that surpasses all understanding. Your life may not be where you want it to be, but you have peace in where you are. And like I said before, every place that God is placing you has a purpose. You may not feel like, okay, this is somewhere that God is calling me to do something, but guaranteed, wherever He has you at right now has purpose. Like I said, for me, I didn't really understand before I left my job. I was in this last role starting in the end of February, and I left in December. I didn't really understand what God was doing, because I'm like, well, why didn't you just pull me out last year? Why did you even give me a promotion to this job? Because I technically was supposed to get the role last year, but I didn't for whatever reason. And then it came back literally a year later at the same time, and I ended up getting the job. But then God was like, okay, I done promoted you up. And like I said, I didn't really understand it because I'm like, okay, God, I was not expecting you to pull me from my job. Like I said, I love my job. My position was real low key. I didn't have to talk to no customers. It was literally get your job done, go home. And then we started going to a building, and I was looking forward to that because I like being around people. So I like to go in and have fun and talk about stuff and laugh and kiki and kaka. It helps the day go by. So I love my position. It was a small group of us, and it was something I had been looking for a long time. And so I didn't really understand why God was calling me from that. And even though I know the purpose that He has over my life with me doing ministry and me doing His calling, I still don't know what the purpose of me. Well, I know somewhat, like, of me being in that position was to better manage what I had in front of me. Because in this role, like, it wasn't micromanage, what I'm. It wasn't micromanage, and being in the beginning of it, I was like kind of struggling because I'm like, okay, I'm not used to like not being able to I'm not used to like communicating with somebody throughout the day. My old apartment, we had like a chat open. We talked to each other all throughout the day. My manager checked in and stuff like that. But I also knew that that was just a sign that the manager of us at that time, or she's still the manager, but it let me know that she trusted her team enough. That she trusted her team enough to do what it is that they were supposed to do. And that meant a lot to me because I was just like, okay, God, not only was that spoke to me because I'm like, well, God, you trust me to do what I'm supposed to do in this role when nobody's watching, right? Like, when nobody's checking in on you and micromanaging and seeing what you're doing, are you doing what God has called you to do? Are you being a good steward over where God has called you to? But yeah, so I was just like, okay, like I said, there was a bigger picture there because God was just testing me. Like, are you going to still be faithful to me even when nobody else is watching you? I placed you in this place to do well and exceed and, be accountable. How are you going to steward that? And I took it seriously. I'm like, okay, now I'm not sitting here saying I was perfect because there was a lot of things where I made mistakes on, and sometimes it's just like I felt in the beginning it was a challenge for me because it was like, okay, I felt like, dang, this is definitely outside of my comfort zone. I'm learning so much in so little time. I don't want to get it wrong. I want to get it right. But I think in the midst of that overthinking everything and like triple checking, I missed a lot of things, and I always had to go back and just be like, okay, let me correct this. But the biggest thing, I was never afraid to admit my wrongs. Like, I would literally tell my manager, like, I'm so sorry, that was my fault. I don't even know. But and that was hard for me sometimes, like being like, oh dang, I gotta tell my manager this. Like, for instance, you guys, like, maybe I don't know if this happened in November or December. I think it happened in November, where I had a file that I was supposed to upload, and I think it was just one of them days where it was just like everything that could go wrong went wrong. And I think it had to be in November because November was a rough time for me. Like I said, that was when God revealed everything to me, and I kind of was struggling with that. So I was distracted from work. I was distracted, and then a lot of stuff in my personal life had happened. So November was just a rough time for me. So I really think that it was just one of them days where I just was focusing, but I wasn't focusing enough, right? I was focused, but I wasn't paying attention to detail as I previously was. So there was a file with like 6 different files in it that I was supposed to upload. And I'm laughing because when she let me tell y'all, there was an email that went out, like, with a bunch of like higher ups on this email, basically saying that there was like, I think it was like a few, it was like maybe 5,000 or 50,000, I don't know, it was a big number of accounts that was supposed to be notated, and for whatever reason, and also I remember that day specifically, I had a bunch of different files to upload that day. But at the end of the day, that's no excuse because this is my job. I do it every day. But like I said, I had so much going on that I was trying to keep it together, and really I was crumbling to pieces, and nobody knew it. My manager kind of knew what was going on because I had to open up to her about some things that was going on behind closed doors, and that was hard for me because I don't like being vulnerable. But God had told me, like, you need to let her know, you need to give her insight. And so I think that's why she was also a little bit more understanding with me as well, because she understood some of the things that I had going on in the background. But yeah, so it basically came out in the email that there was like a bunch of accounts, a couple thousand. I think it was like 50,000 accounts that was supposed to be notated, right? And for whatever reason, it was like 6 files with a bunch of different accounts, but I think it totaled up all to be like 50,000 accounts or 5,000. I remember it was 5,000, 50,000, somewhere in between there. But I did not upload them. But I sent an email saying that I did upload them. And I think that in the midst of, I had so many files that day, I got confused. But I normally double check my work, and I normally double check the files that I'm uploading, but this particular day I did it, and it came back to bite me in my behind. And so I logged in and saw them emails, and I'm like, what are they talking about? Because they were in my box, and I was like, I didn't upload the files. And it took, but I had to end up, like, I ended up researching it to make sure, like, okay, from when I didn't upload the file. And to my knowledge, I didn't upload them. And when I realized that, my mouth just hit the floor, because I was like, girl, I literally said to myself, and there it is again. Oh, I can't record it. I'm too far. It's Love Truck Care. It's a gas company. Okay. I think it's like a gas station. I'm gonna put a picture in it. You guys may know what I'm talking about, because we don't have any, like, in the part of Florida where I live, but I've seen it outside, like in St. Augustine and stuff like that. But it just came up again. I want to take a picture, but I was too close to it, and to get my phone to do all that, child, I probably would have hit somebody's car. Okay, we're not dying over no picture. But I had to, like, be humble and, like, go to her and say, listen, I did not upload those files. I ended up telling her, like, hey, I read the email, I see what they're saying. I was like, and I did not upload the files. I said, being honest, I don't know how I did not check. I said, it's my fault. I take full responsibility. And whatever needs to happen so that this doesn't happen in the long run again, I accept it. I said, and what is it that you want me to say to them, and I said, I can go ahead and upload the files today and just apologize. And so she was like, just upload the files. And she's like, I'll handle the rest. So I'm like, okay. So I go and upload the file, because y'all, they was chewing me up and spitting me out, first of all, okay? And it's cool, because I took it, because I was just like, okay, whatever. But it's just so funny, because these are the same people that's like, oh, mistakes happen. Oh, things happen. And that's why it's just like, God isn't like that. Like, God doesn't condemn us immediately once we make a mistake. People do. But yeah, so people do that. God doesn't do that. His love is gracious, and when you're wrong, He will correct you, but it's out of love. Like, there's been so many times that God corrected me, but it wasn't like, I didn't feel ashamed, I didn't feel beat down or busted up. Like, God came in and He was just like, listen, like I told you guys with the resting thing, I had a week to rest and I did not rest, and then my resting period carried over into the next week, and God was like, listen, I hate to be the one to tell you, but this ain't the time to be resting. And that's why I said, you guys, be busy building when God calls you to build. Don't be in a state of rest when it's time to go to work, because God had already told me, like, you think you finna be sitting at home just doing nothing, but it's finna get real for you. No, you're not on a corporate job, but you're working for the kingdom, and that takes just this amount. And I have not had no free time. That's that. I haven't had none. God was already showing me. He was already showing me that, like, when you come out of this, it ain't gonna be no, oh, you got time off. No, you're still working. And I guess I didn't take it serious. And that next week, I was just like, oh, God. And I had to repent. I was like, Lord, I'm sorry. I'm tired. I did not steward my resting season well. I'm going to be real with you. And that's why I said, will you give me a day to just kind of reset and come back and start over? And so that's this day. That's today. But I said all that to say that God will allow the places that He's currently positioning you to build you for the place that He's carrying you. Because I had to be vulnerable and accountable in places where I was wrong, but it was hard to admit that. I didn't want to have to tell my manager, like, oh, I really did not upload those files. But I mean, what else was I gonna say? Like, oh no, they're lying, but I don't have proof. I don't have proof because they're not lying. They're telling the truth. I had to be accountable. But yeah, like I said, and that was my lesson. It was, what are you doing with the time and the things that I'm giving you when nobody's watching you? When the doors are closed, the lights are off, you're in your home by yourself, confined. Are you still being the person I called you to be? Are you still working and stewarding well the places that I place you at? And that was something that I had to take serious, because now it's like nobody sees me on a daily and sees what I do, but you guys get to see me put it out, right? Nobody but God. Like, you guys don't see me in the day to day. And it's crazy because in the mornings I get up and I do the same thing. I get up, take my son to daycare, and I go for a drive for like 2 hours or an hour, roughly. And then I start my day, because I told God, I'm going to give you my first hours of the day. My goal is but I vowed that I would give God 11% of my day. Because tithing is 10%, but tithe is not just money, it's time. It's time, it's stewarding, it's serving. So I said, you know what, God? And I kept seeing this sign that said, because God had already told me, like, you need to be giving a little bit more than 10% of your time to me. And so I seen a sign one day, because I was like, okay, God, was that just like a temporary thing, or is this like a permanent thing where it's like you want me to consistently show up 11% of my day, giving time to you? And so I seen this sign. I have to take a picture of it when I get back home, because it's in home, unless I see it out here. But it's a sign. Once I started talking about that, I seen a sign that said still 1%. It was talking about like buying homes and stuff like that, but it said, I literally looked up and it said still 1%. I'm like, okay, so you still want me to get that 1%? And I'm gonna put a clip into here of that as well when I get back home, but I will put a clip of that, because I was just like, okay, God, you're still calling me to give that extra 1%. So I said, okay, so that's gonna be it from this day forward. I'm gonna give you 11% of my time. And that's why. I can show you guys. Hold on. Okay, guys, this is the sign. You see it say love. Okay, I started singing that song again. But yeah, so just be diligent and consistent across the board, even when people aren't watching you. Even when people can't see you on on and off the camera. Like, when people can't see you off the camera, be diligent. Be the person that God is calling you to be across the board. And just remember that God is love and His love is faithful, and that He will order your steps. He will get you where you're supposed to go. And just be mindful that wherever you are right now is going to be used. Like I tell you guys, in the Bible, everything is in there for a reason. It has a purpose. It has a point. Like I told you, with Noah in the ark, it doesn't speak of him moaning and groaning about what God was saying. So we don't really know if he did or if he didn't. But maybe he did, and God just didn't put it in the Bible because it wasn't important. And I'm not saying this is facts. I'm just giving my opinion. And like I said, when it comes to the Bible, there's so many different thoughts and things. But we don't have to assume. We don't have to put our emphasis on it, because God's word is clear. But you just have to think, like, for Noah, he's human, so I'm pretty sure maybe he didn't say it out loud, but maybe in his heart he was thinking like, this is so stupid. But he still did it. He still showed up. But if he did do that, it's not in the Bible. So it lets us know that that was not an important part. Even with Isaac, when he sacrificed Isaac, or when he went to sacrifice Isaac, I'm pretty sure in his heart he was like, God. I mean, he of course was thinking like, oh, he could just resurrect him from the dead. But then I know a part of him may have been like, but why do I have to do this? Why? Here's that sign again, loves. Why? Like, why do I have to do this? Why is this important? So don't worry about the why. Just ask God, how can I do this? How do I? So yeah, that's the message. God is love. Remember that His love is unconditional. That's it. Be diligent across the board, in front of people and behind closed doors. Be obedient and build. Do what it is that God is calling you to do. And when you make your choices, continue to seek and put God first. So I have, let me see, I have 17 minutes until I get to Georgia. So I will be back once I make it there and, be recording along the way. Thank you guys for riding with your girl. See y'all later. Bye. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. I'm just sitting here in awe of everything that God did today. Like, I cannot wait to just sit down and actually unpack it. Like, when I tell you, it's so good. It's so good. So, I can't wait to just dissect it and get it out and let the people know what it is God want to say. So, this trip was very much needed. Very much needed and appreciated. So stay tuned and be on the lookout for it. Okay? Okay.